Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2019 Stage Racer, episode number 98. We're still at the Giro d'Italia, second place, 42 seconds behind, and we're on stage 18. We are now into the decisive final four stages. Nielsen Palace throughout this race has shown that he arrived in incredible shape. His form, his race day condition, is clearly that of somebody who's been on a fitness peak throughout this race from the start. Can that mean that he is approaching the end of that? Will it die out somewhere in these final few stages? I certainly hope so. Otherwise, my chances of claiming the win are very, very minimal, and we could be doomed to be a Nairo Quintana type who's a frequent second place finisher. Though he's won the Giro, hasn't he? I haven't yet. In fact, I haven't won the Grand Tours, period. We came up short and all. I haven't had the greatest team support throughout this race. Bernal, Bennett spent most of the race doing their own thing. I had three teammates who came in stage one already heavily fatigued and struggling. So a lot of things working against me in this race, including we're 9.5 minutes behind now, including that in the early stages, the first 6, 7, 8 stages or so, almost every stage I had a negative race day condition. Most of the time a -3 or a -2 with a few -1s sprinkled in there. Finally, late in this race, that's stopped plaguing me. Today, +1. But today, disappointing news. At the end of the last stage, which was the final sprint stage of this race, Egan Bernal withdrawn. Bernal out of the race. So the good news today, Bennett in support. Also, Bennett, who's been fatigued and not doing well, he is a day, maybe two, away from starting a fitness peak. So over these final couple of stages, if I do get support from Bennett, which I have right now, as we come to an absolute stop on this corner, and oh my goodness, I just lost 40 positions in the peloton. What just happened? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we'll recover, and we have plenty of time to get back into position, but that is definitely a waste of energy to get back up there. I'm looking good right now. Lawless already out the back. Bennett is okay. Landa's okay. So much fatigue. I mean, Kwiatkowski, Landa, riders who should be fantastic support riders. You know, a lot of teams would have them as lead riders. Have been every day on -2s, 3s, and 4s. Fatigue factor. But actually, it was 4 riders that were coming up negatives all the time. Bennett, Bernal, Landa, and Kwiatkowski. The 4 climbers. The 3 sprinters were the ones who came into this thing strong, prepared. We've got a peloton of 70 riders. There are still 15 riders away, and we're starting to come back at them, but 8 minutes, that's a pretty big gap. First of 4 climbs done, and they get bigger and steeper from there. This one, second steepest of the day coming up. I think this is going to thin the peloton out a bit more. So far, so good for me. Landa almost fully recovered. Bennett is fully recovered. So as we begin this next climb, 11K to go to the top. 50K to go on the stage. We're going uphill at about 20 kilometers per hour. That's pretty quick, and it is thinning the peloton. Now 50, 30 riders. 26 riders. I'm down to Bennett and Landa. All of a sudden, 24 riders. And it's coming back together a bit. Speed up for now as we approach the top. Okay, so we go over the top, just under 30 riders, and I'm down to just Bennert. Bennert, you do not need to be working. You need to be protecting. You also need to get water, though. One final time here. Don't go out the back, please. Whoa, whoa, game, whoa. We ride the other direction. Landa has recovered and rejoined the group on that descent, but he's going to go right out the back again, as he has done so. So 28 here in the group, and fatigue already setting in. I'm not at full strength, but it looks like I'm actually still recovering as we're going up this Category 2 climb, the penultimate climb of the day. We're going to have that small group for that final climb. Bennert will be there. He'll make it through this one. And my idea, my plan in these final 4 stages, at least as things stand right now, 42 seconds behind the race leader. All I need is a small chunk of time. 42 seconds can come so quick. It might take more than one stage, but what my plan is to be patient, wait. If Lopez, the most likely one to do so, attacks, he's in 3rd overall. If Lopez attacks, it's not me who needs to cover it down. Lopez is almost 4.5 minutes behind. I've got plenty of time over him. I need to be patient and allow Paulus to be the one to cover that off. If he does cover that off, Breakaway is definitely going to claim the stage today, by the way, as the gap is back out to almost 10 minutes now. This was not a hard climb for us. You can see it did still put fatigue into the likes of Bennert, so most of the riders would have been a little bit fatigued from that. 16K to go. Anyway, let him waste his energy chasing those guys. I just need to stay on his wheel, and then late, the last 2-3 kilometers, where I hopefully have a good amount of energy left, that's where I make my move, attack, because all I need is a small chunk of time. And hopefully in one of these 4 stages, I'm able to pick that up. I could easily get half a minute to a minute in the final couple kilometers. Here we go. Final climb. 75 will not do anymore. We've got to make sure we're going to stay put. And here we go. 29 in this final group. Still plenty of riders away. It's 10K to go. 8.9% average gradient. We're going to cover 2,200 meters. It is quite steep at the finish. And here we go. The attacks start. Pinot. Here is Lopez starting right at the base of the climb. There goes Carapaz. This is the top riders outside of our race leader. So let's see if Movistar is going to respond. Thomas. There we go. Thomas giving chase. Burning up the support riders. He's still got 2 riders around him. Yates and Thomas doing the work. And Thomas is done. And we've just about pulled it back.
Counter-attack by Thibaut Pinot.
Okay. That's the group, right? No, where's Lopez? Lopez must be up the road further. Now it's Quintana. 6K to go. So Quintana and Yates now burning themselves down for Paulus. Bennert nearly done here. Final 6 kilometers. Bennert going out the back. No. Don't go to that wrong side, please. Bennert's been dropped. 20 riders left. 19 riders left. 4.5 kilometers. And his riders are done, so now he attacks.
And he spurts away from the group. He's going for victory.
Cover it off. Yay! Oh, he's trying to go again. $3.5K to go. There's Lopez, so we've caught back up to Lopez. 2.5K to go. Gel. Oh, come on. Cover the gap. Oh, what a waste. No, come on. Cover the gap. They're pulling away. $900 meters. I don't have the energy to pull away on this stage. Okay, just go to the finish. It's 300 meters. No time gap today. Just on the rest of the field. Lopez, Palace, and I right at the top. Ciccone takes the stage. Davies. Palace 5th. I'm going to get 6th. Lopez 7th. And the three of us are together. Huge gaps to everyone behind us, but no gap for the three of us. That tiny 2 bike length gap wasted a little too much energy coming up. I was just trying to stay on his wheel, but one stinking bike length, and I had to waste all that energy to close that one bike length. I was trying to not overdo it and attack too hard. I wanted it to be gradual. I figured an 85, 86 was going to be more than enough tempo, enough speed to close that gap. Especially even when I hit like the 88, 89, that starts playing into the hills rating, right? I should have been able to close that down quicker than that. It just goes to show how strong he is right now. That he's able to ride that tempo as, yes, he's got that mountain rating, but his mountain and my resistance are identical. I have an advantage in hills rating. I should have been able to easily close that down without burning too much energy, but that was more than a kilometer, maybe 1.5 kilometers to close down one bike length, and that burned most of that energy I had to be able to attack that final 600 meters, which I didn't have anything left to do so, unfortunately. I would have had, not a lot, but if we would have been able to close that down almost immediately, I would have had a little bit left in the tank to attack. It would have only been 10, 15 seconds on a stage like this, that close to the end. But it would have been nice to get 15 seconds. But again, he's on a fitness peak. It is clear as day. He's not put a foot wrong in this race. And we have a couple of times. Part of that's been either lack of team support. Part of that's been negative race day conditions. That's where I lost most of my time, those first few stages. Or I've made a little mistake here and there. But I've never had an advantage over him at any point. We're now down to 3 stages, 3 chances to make up the time we need. 90 kilometers to go on stage 19. This is a really difficult stage to gain time on. It's a really easy stage to lose time because we're going into an ALS category climb right now. We have 27 kilometers to go to the top, and here in just a moment we're going to begin the ascent. 25.6 kilometers overall, 2,700 meters of climbing, 7.2% average gradient for 25K. Very, very long climb. Also, now that I have total team control, finally, and now that everyone on the team is working for me, and there's no yo-yoing in control. I mean, I'm sure you've seen how Pro Cyclist mode from time to time. You have control of riders, and then all of a sudden you don't have control of riders. And then you have control of riders, and then you don't have control of riders. Well, that mess. There's no mess anymore. These final 3 stages, I've got total team control, or at least today I do. As a result, I'm treating this like a career mode stage. I'm, for the rare occasion, taking total control here of Team Ineos. Lawless, done. He was protecting Landa. Kwiatkowski, your turn. So right now, I'm trying to take the top riders in the team and give them protection. I'm hoping to have Bennett, Landa, and myself over the top of this climb so we have a chance to do something on the next climb.
And evolution doesn't seem to favor those in the rear. There's a growing list of riders left behind.
Peloton quickly shrinking, 76 riders now. Breakaway's huge, but it is starting to break up as well. And we're catching some of those guys. It's 3.5 minutes. That's not a very big gap at all. And we're already down to that small group now. So Kwiatkowski, your job now is to protect me. 14.5K to go. That's a long one. And I'm already down to just that small group. Better, Landa, still here. Landa, if anything, will have to switch to protecting Bennett here as the group gets smaller and smaller.
They're moving along at a fair lick. You've just got to hang on.
Okay, Kwiatkowski's done. Yeah, I'm okay right now. I think I want Landa to just follow me. And Bennett, should I go ahead and slip into the middle, please? I've got you guys covered. 7 meters. The descent is plenty long enough for me to recover as long as I make it to the top. So just trying to give these guys free ride. Landa, though, is slipping and maybe going out the back soon. 22 riders, 24 riders. I think we're picking up some breakaway riders. But as we approach the top of the climb, it's 2K to go. Landa, for now, is hanging on. And he'll make it. He will make it. Now, no change in roles for the moment. As we descend, I'm already full strength. Bennett is now there as well. Landa is coming. 50K to go. Landa, go ahead and grab water. Just 22 in the group. Shouldn't take him that long to drift back just a little bit. Hand up, get water, and ride it back forward, especially as it's straight road through here. And sweet. Okay, Landa, roll change, protect. Okay, now the idea on the next climb is we stay as we are for a little bit, but then partway up, as we get a little bit closer to the top, I want a serious tempo change. I'm going to use Landa and Bennett to pressure the field, and then I want to attack the final kilometer or two over the top. That last little Category 4 climb, there's a little bit of descent before it, little chance for recovery. If I'm solo over the top of this Category 2 climb, I have a chance to gain time. And even if I'm caught because of a downhill finish, outside of that little Category 4 uphill, I've got to have a little bit of energy for that. But otherwise, if I'm away, I've got a chance to stay away. Okay, I'm expecting tempo to rise, so let's prepare for that. Just 22 in the group. Movie Star still has support riders, though. Okay, we are beginning. 15 kilometers, 6% average gradient. Steep here at the beginning, but it's going to level off for a little while. And we're past that first phase. I'm going to wait for that third phase where it ramps back up. And that's coming up here in just a moment. Landis spent his energy. So what I'm going to need to do is have Bennett be the one to put the pressure on. 7K to go. Let's do it at 6. There you go. Landa's done. So we're going to swap. And you are going to go in 85.
This climb features some dreadful percentages.
Okay, Landa's out the back. Separation. We have separation. Okay, speed up. 87. Nope, they caught back on. 4K to go. I think I'm okay with this tempo, though. Bennett should hang in there. 3.5K. He'll last a little while longer yet. And then I'll be able to attack over the top. In fact, he needs to pick it up. 90. We're swallowing breakaway riders whole. There's Lucas Hamilton. 2K to go. Coming up on 1K to go, and it's time.
15 kilometers left. Falling behind. A team leader is falling behind.
Final kilometers, so I'm going to attack all the way over the top. And Lopez is with me. I'm okay with that. He was with me. Okay, the attack is done. Will he work with me now? Group of 3, pink jersey is here. Yes, it is. Paulus. I just can't get rid of him. I could attack the next climb again, though.
There's now just 10 kilometers left.
$3K to go to the top. Group of 6 back together. $2K to go to the top. That's Agile kicks in. All right, here we go.
It's in such percentages that the strongest can create some gaps.
All right. Can't attack the whole way. 800 meters. Okay, Lopez attacks over the top. Palace is still with me.
Only 5 kilometers left.
There we go. Okay, we're going to ride Palace's wheel. Unfortunate thing is, who am I riding with? Yeah, same guy. No arrow right now. Okay, we caught Lopez, so there's your final group of 3 again. And I really can't outsprint these guys. 3.5K. Wait. Let's double check this finish. It does flatten out a little bit. That's actually not exactly a good thing for me.
There we go. The sprint is on. The riders are setting themselves up. The riders are now into the descent towards the finishing line.
2K to go.
Today the victory goes to Rohan Dennis.
Albrecht second. Ciccone third. 600 meters and I can't. I've attacked like over a kilometer ago and can't attack. Lopez 5th. I get 6th. Palace 7th. Same group, same positions. We just rotated order. But again, there's the 3 of us together. at the finish. Just can't shake Palace. He's got the energy to recover each and every time. Remember, he's the one who chased Lopez back. He's the one who chased me back in both cases, and he just keeps covering it all off. Palace is in the form of his life and is looking likely to be the winner of this Giro d'Italia. I think he's essentially doing what I was able to do in the Giro in my career mode with Evenepoel. Evenepoel was not the strongest rider there, but Evenepoel had the form, had the fitness peak, had the team support, the right riders around who were themselves on fitness peaks. So everything was set up in the right way, and he was able to beat out better riders. In this case, the two best riders are Palace and I. We have the best ratings by a very slight margin over half a dozen other guys. Dumoulin, Lopez, Carapaz as kind of the top competitors. Pinot. There's a number of really good riders, but he is a little bit better than the others, just like I am a little bit better than the others, and ultimately he and I have the exact same mountain and resistance rating. The difference, time trial and hills. Downhill is almost identical. So the time trial, we gained time, but not significant, which means he definitely had fitness peak. Guaranteed. Otherwise he would have lost a lot more time than he did. And the hills, the stages haven't suited that terribly well. And he's not losing time on those stages. So every time you have something that looks like there should be some sort of advantage through the hills rating, final kilometer accelerations on an uphill, he's right there. So there's no way that those two things are happening without a fitness peak to go with it. And that's been the difference, and that's why, despite our strengths, we can't overcome his weaknesses, because he's staying level on the weaknesses, and then he's got the advantage on what are both of our strengths. With just 2 stages to go, it's absolutely a 2-horse race. No doubt about it. Lopez is now too far behind. He will not contest at this point with just 2 stages. I mean, there's no way that he is going to put in the any sort of real challenge. He's too far down now. 4.5 minutes behind, so 4 minutes behind me for second. So very much I'm on the top 2 steps now, but that last 42 seconds with just 2 stages left, I just don't see how we can do it. 207k, big climb early, so it's going to really start splitting the field up, and then 3 more big climbs, but very steep, albeit relatively short descents. So good chance to get the heart rate down, get a bit of recovery in before you start the next one, and it finishes on another climb. 8% average gradient, but it's only 12 kilometers. He's been so strong that there can definitely be time gaps on a stage like this. But it could go either way, and it seems to always be I'm stretching right to the end of my limit, and he's still there. Stage 21, short, punchy, but I don't see how that's a hill stage. 5 big Category 2 climbs and 5 minor climbs. I think with the finish that you have, it's small group again, like what we just had on that last stage, potentially. But still, shaking him, getting rid of him. I don't see how in either of these stages we get it done. One more episode to find out, though. Can we push that little bit further? One more step. Honestly, if I did not have -3 race day conditions within those first 5 stages over and over again, we'd be about a minute and a half ahead right now. He'd be giving us a run for our money, but we'd be covering him off instead of having to try to attack him. And that would be making a massive difference. I lost, 3.5, 4 minutes in those first stages. If it is 4, right, I'd be over 3 minutes ahead. So the unfortunate dice roll that I had on those first few stages, big negative race day conditions. I was -3. Theoretically, he's, +4, +5 every stage of this race. That gap between us of about a -6, -7 in those couple of stages, that's the difference. Otherwise, we would be ahead almost comfortably. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. We've still got a small chance to win this thing. I don't want to blow up and slip to 3rd, but I've got to try. This stage coming, it's going to come down mostly to the final climb. Can we steal some seconds late? But that final stage, I don't know where there's going to be any time coming out of it. Unless, again, his fitness peak just suddenly ends and crashes and he ends up with a -2, -3 and gets dropped. That's what I have to hope for at this point, is the same thing that happened to me in the early stages. Can it happen to him in the final couple stages? Can we have what was that, stage 18? 17? A couple years back, Chris Froome, when he did his triple in a row. And Yates was not a massive lead, but he was so strong that race. The same day that he cracked and lost a ton of time, it's the same day that Froome attacked it wasn't even the penultimate climb, it was the climb before the penultimate climb, 3 climbs left, attacked early and ended up building a huge gap and held on to it over those 3 climbs. Not all of it, they gained some of that time back, but he ended up going from way out of it into the race lead. And at that same time, Yates totally blew up. Can that happen? Is that fitness peak finally going to end? I don't know. We'll see. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.